You may have seen my latest video, in which I've made my own VR headset. It's a very nice project, but something is still missing. And of course I mean the controllers. So let's build some. This video was sponsored by JLC PCB. I will start by downloading the original Gerber files for the HadesVR wand. You can find those on the official GitHub page. With the Gerber files downloaded, you can now open the JLC PCB website and upload the zip file. Here you can change the board details, such as thickness, solder mask color and quantity. After selecting all of the options, you can now click Save to Cart and place the order. Here you can select the shipping address and select the shipping method. After that, select Review before payment and Submit order. The package arrived very fast, just like always. All of the boards are safely packaged inside a nice blue cardboard box. All of the boards come vacuum sealed, which makes sure no moisture can get inside. This is very important when it comes to electronics. And of course, just like always, the build quality of the boards is impeccable. Those definitely look very professional and high quality. As you can see, the new board is very similar to the old one, except this time it uses Arduino Pro Mini instead of the bare Atmega chip. Most of the stuff, like button and LED placement, remains unchanged. Both boards use cell to power the device. Arduino Pro Mini makes it way easier to assemble whole board. In the old version you had to solder all of the Atmega pins manually, and it required onboard crystal chip as well. Atmega chip comes in many different packages. I've got a couple of them right here. As you can see, the Pro Mini is way smaller than the original Atmega chip. It also has all of the components already on board that are needed to program the chip. It's also meant to be installed directly on the controller, which removes any kinds of issues. You are supposed to install gold pins, but this time I've used only solder. After Atmega, I can install the joystick. It's the same one as used in the PlayStation 4 controller. It feels pretty nice, but I feel it could be smaller. Also, it has a lot of shield pins, which leave you with solder blobs on the other side. I've also soldered the gyroscope. It's a pretty standard MPU board, which you can get for super cheap. I will have to transfer the radio chip from the old board, since it's the only one that I have right now. Radio chip uses gold pins as well. It goes slightly over the MPU, so it's very important that both boards don't touch each other. This board right here is the battery charger. I also have this small power button right here, but I feel it's not in the proper condition. I've soldered it to the board, but it's a bit loose. I've also soldered the charger board. I will have to transfer the old resistors to new board since I don't really have any more of them. Okay, I've changed my mind halfway through and I've used SMD components instead. I've connected everything to my USB-C port and it seems to work perfectly. As you can see, when I switch the power button, the Atmega starts to work. I've got this USB SAP programmer, which I will use to upload the firmware to the board. Everything is properly connected to my PC, so now I can just upload the firmware. So, I think there was some kind of issue with my previous board, so I've completely remade it from scratch. This time I've made it as close to the original one as possible. I've also made a complete step-by-step guide on GitHub, so you can recreate whole controller yourself. This time I've used a real cell holder instead of the voltage wires, just like in the original one. I've also designed a simple 3D printed case that fits all of the controllers and has a ping pong mount. I've prepared the top cover part as well, since the controller wouldn't be complete without one. It uses 3 small 3D printed buttons, which are installed directly over the tact switches. It's a very simple case, but it gets the job done. It doesn't have the grip and trigger buttons for now, but I will add those in later versions. Whole thing has to be installed upside down, since otherwise the buttons will fall out. I will close it up for now using my spare soldering iron. I didn't bother with the screws since I'm already making a new one. And here it is fully assembled. It should now be ready to go. And just like that, the controller is now finished. Thanks for watching everyone and see you in the next one. And as always, huge thanks to my patrons.